The gender variant faced discrimination and prejudice everywhere, even within cultures that historically are more open to differences, such as India. Within India, there are males, females, and a third gender. In some cultures, they may be considered transsexuals. In India, they are known as Hijra.
I feel that I'm a woman, but born in the wrong body. So I have a few incorrect things, but I'm a woman. So that's what the society would call transsexual, right?
Hijra, like Rose Venkatesan, defy traditional gender description. Some are born intersex. Others, born male, have been castrated and had their penises removed. Hijra may also maintain their male anatomy, and some Hijra are anatomically female. All Hijra are considered a unique third gender by Indian culture. They are neither truly male nor female. But recognition rarely means acceptance, especially from family. For much of her life, Venkatesan hid her true identity. She attended college in the United States, but upon her return to India, she could no longer suppress who she was. When she told her parents, they refused to acknowledge she was Hijra. They even went as far as to arrange a marriage for the son that they thought they'd raised. On the night Venkatesan's engagement was announced, enough was enough. She rose before a crowd and spoke to the parents of her bride-to-be.
I paused for a second and I said, look, you have a beautiful daughter and you have given her a very good education and, you know, and she deserves a good life and she deserves a good man in her life. And I said, I'm not man enough for marriage with a woman. I just can't marry and live with a woman because I felt like a woman myself. And then I said, no, I can't do this. I'm sorry. And everybody was shocked. There was total silence. My father was like, ah. Within 2 days, my family had expelled me. They beat me up. And then they were like, get out of the house. We don't want you. You have totally spoiled the family's reputation and all of that.
After being expelled, Venkatesan lived alone on the streets and faced an uncertain future. Biologist Joan Roughgarden has shown that gender variation among humans is not aberrant, but natural. As evidence, she points to the plant and animal kingdoms. Roughgarden has documented that we're surrounded by beings that go beyond traditional male-female categories.
Just look out the window. All those plants out there are hermaphroditic. All right, all of them. When you go walking at the intertidal zone, you pick up a barnacle. All those barnacles are hermaphroditic. You pick up a snail. The snails are hermaphroditic. Pick up the starfish. They're frequently hermaphroditic. Even if you go snorkeling on a coral reef and you look at all these fish swimming around in front of you, well, about a third of those fish are hermaphroditic. Among some of the fish, they start out as male and turn into females, and then in other species, they start as females and turn into males. So it just goes on and on and on.
Roughgarden has shown that in addition to hermaphrodism, there's a long list of animals that also exhibit intersex characteristics, and some that might be considered transgendered. Clearly, humans that live outside traditional gender boundaries are not alone. But just how common is gender variation on the planet? In research for her groundbreaking book, Evolution's Rainbow, Roughgarden led the first exhaustive sex, gender, and sexuality survey of the natural world, from fungi to plants, insects to mammals. What she discovered was stunning. Approximately half of all species on Earth exist outside the traditional male-female binary categories.
This is not loose change. This is big numbers. That's what was becoming really clear when I was doing Evolution's Rainbow, is that the sheer magnitude of the diversity in gender and sexuality was larger than any of us were aware of at the time.
A little long, a little lanky looking.
Yep. Roughgarden argues that humans that live outside traditional male-female categories have something in common with approximately half of all species on the planet. Gender variance, often viewed as rare and irregular, is actually natural.
And speaking specifically to those of you who are gender variant in some way, you're no different from the rest of nature. And just as most people can find some comfort in seeing that animals are like them, so too animals are like you.
For many, the world seems firmly divided between males and females. But is that perspective truly accurate? People like Keilana Alanez challenge this view. Today, Alanez is reaching out, using the internet, telling her story to those that will listen with the hope of changing opinions.
It's Keilana Alanez again.
She's also offering support to others born intersex who are struggling with questions of their identity.
We're okay.
Rose Venkatesan is working on a new television show. And she's writing 2 scripts for the movies in her attempt to influence hearts and minds.
And we're not going to stop at this. You know, many of the transsexual activists here and I will not stop at this. We will use the media a lot more and then spread the message and make it more and more acceptable and maybe even a cool thing to be transsexual.
All right, tell me what it says.
It says Josie Romero, female.
Josie Romero and her family are celebrating her new birth certificate.
Female!
Public affirmation of her identity.
It means I'm a girl. And if somebody says, no, you're a boy. No, you're a girl. It doesn't make sense.
Right.
I am a female.
That's right.
Through one apple.
For now, the Romeros are biding their time, content with the peace they've found.
I don't think we're necessarily out of the woods, but there's going to be, I think, more bumps in the road that we're going to encounter, but overall, we're where we need to be for our family.
Big, fat, caterpillar.
While these stories may be different, for Tiger DeVore they each share a common theme, one that asks us to open our eyes and reconsider how we think about sexuality and gender.
I want people to understand that sexual differences in sexual behavior and sexual action is to be celebrated, encouraged, enjoyed, understood, to be seen in this broader context that it's all good. This isn't something to be eliminated and punished.